Welcome to the Sports Reverends podcast. My name is Dan, and I'm joined with my big bro, the coach. He's not only a coach on the basketball court, he's also a coach in the stock markets as well. I am a reverend in downtown Toronto. I'm also a chaplain for Toronto Fire, and boy, do we got a good show for you today. You know, a lot of podcasts and shows, they're going to give you something to take away. Some will help you make money. Some will help you get in shape. Some will make you laugh. Our show has something greater than all those things. You know, in our lives, we've been through the mud. We've been through different storms and challenges. And we are going to point you to the source, to the reason why we've made it through those storms. We've made it out successfully. We've made it out of the mud. And that's because of our faith in Christ. And this show's all about how sports has played a role in our faith and how they collide. And you're going to hear some high analysis sports takes, maybe some hot ones too. But most importantly, you're going to hear about our unapologetic faith and how sports has played a role in that as well. So, Coach, why don't you give us a run of our show?
I was really hoping to start off with a ho, ho, ho instead of a hey, hey, hey. Well, that's okay. That is
Next
okay.
week. Next week.
We will
lock it in.
We will roll off. Yeah, lock it in. Lock it in. We got our quick hitters. We start off the show as always. We look at how we did in week 15 of the NFL. Pretty good, I would say. Make our predictions for the upcoming week 16. Talk a little bit about the NBA Cup as Milwaukee and OKC here in the final in Vegas. Discuss about the new All-Star game changes that were happening this year in 2025. And then we'll talk. We've got a good one for you. What is your passion? Game day or Judgment Day? So let's get rolling here. When you start us off with our quick hitter here.
All right, let's hit some quick hitter news. The Colorado Buffaloes, college football, Travis Hunter won the 2024 Heisman Trophy.
Yeah, man, played both sides of the ball. That's pretty amazing. The Baltimore Orioles have signed pitcher, oh man, here we go, Tomoyuki Sugano to a 1-year, $13 million contract. Could
Well
be help in
done.
the bullpen for him.
Well done on that name. Detroit Lions running back David Montgomery to undergo season-ending knee surgery.
No, not good, not good. New York Yankees have traded right-handed pitcher Cody Poteet to the Chicago Cubs for Cody Bellinger, and then the Cubs are picking up $5 million of that contract.
Last but not least, Dennis Schroeder has been traded to the Golden State Warriors from the Brooklyn Nets. Pretty good. Pretty good. Okay, before we go anywhere else, let's get into some of our business. We actually have a brand new Shopify store. It's called the Sports Reverends Store. Yeah, it's awesome. There's some great products on there. I actually just got a hallway lamp that connects into my wall that's a censored. And so every time I walk by, it'll turn on. Every time, about 20 seconds, it'll turn off. It's really amazing, nice, warm, and cozy light. You can check it out. There's so many great options for you to buy. And now that Canada Post is lifting their strike soon and all these other places are picking it up, it's even going to get to you faster if you like electronics, home goods, and of course there's lots of sports equipment there for your workouts and beyond. You got to check out the Sports Rev store. You're going to find great deals, and even more importantly, you get to support the show. If you want to learn how to support the show, you got to share the show and check out the Sports Rev store, sportsrevs.com. You can see the link in our description. Back to you, Coach.
Beautiful. Yeah, so week 15 was pretty good. We were on a bit of a roll here. We went 4-2. Unfortunately, the Niners lost and Pittsburgh lost. So Philly, Buffalo, Green Bay, the Vikings, and Atlanta all won. So we went 4-2. Pretty good, I would say. As we head down to the stretch run here into week 16, we got Thursday night. Denver at the Chargers.
I'm all soured talking about football, okay? I'm in 4 different fantasy leagues. I'm out of the playoffs in the first round in every league. It's just...
I was going to save that for last, but you brought it up.
Unbelievable. No, you know, I just can't... I'm frustrated, all right? Any fantasy football fans out there, maybe you were top of your league or no 1 or 2. How many else have lost in the first round? 3 out of the 4 leagues lost in the first round. All right, it was a horrible
upset big time in the
fantasy league. Pod. The Sports Reverends
2-7. You were 2
fantasy
7
league man, it's just it's tough to go out there.
It's okay.
Football is tough. We love the parody. I love Devontae Adams going for 35 fantasy points when he's been garbage all year. But let's go. Let's dig into it. You said Thursday night game, Denver Chargers. Chargers at home.
Big game.
This
Chargers
is a
at home.
huge game. They are matched up well. Similar style coaching, obviously. And they love to run the ball. Tough, heavy game. We'll see. Depends on Justin Herbert. Is he healthy? Is he playing? If he's playing, Lad McConkey, his rookie, is playing, I'm going with the Chargers. I think they're actually sneaky good. I'm not sold on Denver.
You know what? I like the Chargers as well. I think it really depends on Herbert as well. I like the points you're making, but even though we're choosing the Chargers, let's just put it out there. No one expected Denver to be this good this quickly.
100%.
So,
how good is Bo Nix? We've talked about him before.
Let's be real. He was not really looked at as the guy who's going to do anything, right? He was just kind of like Bo Nix. He'll be okay. Kid's been getting better week after week after week. So even though we're picking against them, I think we're going to see some better things from Denver coming forward. However, Saturday, these got some good games on Saturday. I do like having football on Saturday. I'm not going to lie. I'm not a big college guy, but some NFL on Saturday is always a good time. Houston at KC. That's a big game.
Lots of questions on this one, too. Is Patrick Mahomes going to play? Or is Carson Wentz going to start?
Oof. It's a big change.
That's what I don't know. I think regardless. No, I don't think regardless. I don't know. What do you think? I think Houston's a very good team.
I think Houston's a really good team. I think Kansas City needs this, right? They need the number one seed. They need the number one seed in the AFC. Buffalo has been on a roll. Josh Allen is looking really good. I think Mahomes is just going to push through. This is not the most talented KC team he's ever had, yet they're still doing amazing. That's all on the back of Mahomes, really. T Swift mania has kind of died down finally, which is good. But I think Mahomes is thinking, we got to make sure everything comes through Arrowhead. I don't want to be going into Buffalo on a cold winter game, even though it does get kind of cold in Kansas City too. I think Mahomes is going to push through. He might see a bit of a conservative game plan to start the game, but I think he's going to be like, you know what, we need this. KC in a squeaker. I think it's going to comes down to 3 points.
Okay, I'm with you. Especially if Mahomes plays, I'm with you on that. And I got a fight to have with our favorite player, CJ Stroud, because I have him in every one of my fantasy football leagues, basically. And the guy's let me down, man. He's let me down. At least fantasy-wise.
At least fantasy-wise. It's been a sophomore slump, let's put it this way, right? Next game on Saturday is Pittsburgh at Baltimore. Okay. This is going to be a really good one. I want to hear your take on this. You seem excited.
So we were let down by Pittsburgh. Mike Tomlin underdog last week. The percentages say Mike Tomlin underdog, divisional game, go with Mike Tomlin and the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's what my gut says. They're going to slow it down. Najee Harris isn't going to fumble the lateral and fumble the ball everywhere. Russell Wilson will play better. The Pittsburgh Steelers know how to play against Lamar Jackson. So I'm going Pittsburgh.
I think there's less room for error on the Baltimore side. I think all the pressure's on them. Pittsburgh, again, kind of a dark horse. Don't really expect them to do this well. And they've been consistent throughout the whole year, but the MV3 chance for Lamar have kind of gone the way of the wind, and a lot of pressures on Baltimore. And I think that goes against them. I think Pittsburgh comes through until Lamar wins the whole thing. There's always going to be questions about can he finish. It's great to put up stats. It's great to be the regular season, win the regular season, but you got to cross the finish line at the end of the year on top. And until he does that, it's always going to be the same criticism goes to Josh Allen, right? Until they pull it out, they're not going to be considered the best of the best. So with that on their shoulders, I think Pittsburgh does come out and, like you said, slow the game down. Probably like a 15-9 kind of game, I think, and kind of a smash them game. So I think we're picking Pittsburgh on that as well.
Wow, let's go.
Here another divisional game here on Sunday. Lots and lots to go through. Philadelphia at Washington. I know you hate both of these teams because they're your divisional rivals, but Philly's looking good.
Philly's looking really good. Washington is also looking really good. I'm really impressed with Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels looks like he could play basketball really well. He's so smooth. He just like glides the way he moves. And he kind of has that like basketball footwork to him. Philly's coming off a tough. I know they beat Pittsburgh by about 10 or something like that. But when you play a team like Pittsburgh, you get beat up pretty well. And I think that's going to play into the Sunday matchup with Washington. And Washington's at home, I believe, right?
Yes.
So that's where I'm going to say Washington beats Philly.
Man, that's a tough one. I know Detroit's got a bit of an easier game with Chicago, but Philly also needs that win to stay on top of the whole conference. But it was a pretty physical game, even though the drama from the week before where they talked about the passing game and all that kind of stuff. I think it's emotionally draining. I like where you're going with the Washington pick. I would like to see this happen. I'm stepping out on a limb here with you and taking Washington.
And we could be totally wrong. Saquon could go for 250 and 2 touchdowns again, but
we're stepping on a limb. We gotta take it.
And
go with the gut feeling there.
Terry McLaurin, Brian Robinson, like they're good. They're good.
Yeah, they're a good team. They're a good team. All right, last pick: the Minnesota Vikings and the Seattle Seahawks.
You go first.
Ooh, I am fully invested in the Sam Darnold train. I really like what this guy has done. He's revived his career. He was supposed to be the bridge quarterback, and he's just balled out. They brought in Daniel Jones. You think that would be an issue? Nah, the man has just played even better. So I'm thinking Sam Darnold leads this team to a big W this week.
Yeah, that's a good pick. They are very healthy. When you compare them to the other top teams in the NFC, Detroit has like over 20 players on the IR. I think Minnesota only has 5. Like that's pretty impressive and good on Sam Darnold. Okay, I'm convinced. I've never been big on the Seattle team.
No, I think they've just looked better because the division has been terrible, right? If the Niners were healthy, they would have been taking that thing by a storm. But that is not the case. So here we go. The Sports Revs 5 for the weekend. Week 16, we have the Chargers. We got KC, we got Pittsburgh, Washington, and the Vikings.
Boom.
Big news from Randy Moss, though, with the cancer stuff. So hopefully he's doing okay. Hopefully he's doing
good stuff.
All right. NBA time. We were flipping on Tuesday. We got NBA Cup. And again, I think from where the season started until today, it would have been very hard pressed to say Milwaukee was a finals favorite for this NBA Cup because they started off. We got Milwaukee versus OKC in Vegas. I think the reports were that Dame and Middleton were not practicing because there were a little bit of niggling injuries, but we'll see. Hopefully they both play so they get the best of the matchup here. But what are your thoughts? Is it Giannis or bust, or are we going to see Shai just go off here?
Yeah, I think in terms of the season, this means more to Milwaukee. I think for Oklahoma City, this is like they are, in my opinion, the next best team to Boston. And once Chet gets healthy, once Chet gets healthy, then they're really in contention here. Milwaukee, like you said, was just treading water, and they've been on a hot streak now. So this would really boost them going into that the preparing for the playoff run. So I think I did choose Milwaukee from the beginning. So I got to stick with my pick. The Milwaukee Bucks, Giannis, Dame. Let's go.
Yeah, honestly, this team was dead in the water. This team was dead in the water, and honestly, this has turned their season around 100.
Yeah,
I do like it from the OKC side. It does give them that pressure of that crucible of winning something. Granted, it's not an actual just not the Larry O'Brien, but it's that idea of hey, we're winning, we're intent on winning. It's not versus the Lakers last year. I think they just wanted to win just to have it in their resume. I don't think they took it as an opportunity to say, hey, this is how we win. It's not just let's just toss the ball and LeBron him do his thing. It's we win as a team. We go to the crucible of blah 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 blah. I think that has really shaped both of these teams' destiny. Like you see Denver, they just it's night and day. It's just either Jokic plays really well and they win, or he doesn't and they lose. And luckily for them, he's been playing really well. Then same pedigree from last year. I got the headed monster that just anybody can go off any different side of the night. They play great defense. Milwaukee, like you said, really needed this. And if they do win this, but East, even if they don't win this, the East needs to watch out, right? East needs to watch out. There's so much turbulence at the top, and you got like guys like Miami trying to potentially trade Jimmy Butler and things like that. So after Boston, there's really, Cleveland maybe, but they haven't been a perennial winner overall. So there's a lot of upheaval at the top of the East and Milwaukee could sneak in and do some real damage. So I think I like the pick. I think Giannis is out to prove something after a lackluster year like last year by his standards. I like it. I think Milwaukee will eventually pull this away.
Okay, we'll find out tonight. People won't believe our pick if Milwaukee wins tomorrow because we recorded the day before, but that's okay. They got to trust us.
Okay.
They got to trust us.
They gotta trust us. They gotta trust us. All right. So that's done. The next big NBA thing, of course, is Christmas Day. We'll talk about that next week. But after that is the All-Star game. Quite frankly, I really don't care about the All-Star game. It's turned into a bit of a pageantry. But they've dropped new format for this year's All-Star game, and I want to hear your thoughts. So it's gonna be 4 teams, one being general managed by Candace Parker, the Rising Stars, which is interesting, and then Chuck, Kenny, and Shaq as celebrity coaches slash drafters are going to pick to make the other 3 teams. And then from these 4 teams, they're going to have 2 games in a quote unquote semifinals, up to 40 or the first team to pass 40. And then the finals will be between winner of game 1 and game 2. I don't know if you saw any socials, but Kevin Durant hates this idea. What are your thoughts initially hearing this?
My thoughts initially are this is confusing. It's a bit gimmicky, but the All-Star game the past few years has been a total complete joke. Jokic and Doncic and then the rest of the guys too have just made it a total waste of time and not fun to watch at all. So they had to do something. I understand that. And, maybe the idea of using the most popular people in the NBA, Chuck, Kenny, Shaq, should have been Ernie in there as well. But I guess they put Candace in there for the reason.
Reasons.
For diversity, equity, and inclusion. I wonder if the Rising Stars players hit on Candace Parker. You think they do any of that?
No, because she's a lesbian, apparently.
Well, she was once before not.
Sheldon Williams, my guy.
Duke's finest.
Ex-Dookie.
The forehead of a shark. The hammerhead.
Hey, leave Sheldon alone. He had a good career, okay? No one thought he'd do anything in the NBA. Did all right.
So, yeah, that's my thoughts. It's gimmicky, but they needed to do something.
They needed to do something. They have to find a way to bring some sort of intensity to the game. If you look, again, I feel really old things back in my day, but I don't want to say that. But, it used to be the NBA All-Star game was 3 quarters was just crazy alley-oops, deep threes, whatever. And the last quarter, it locked it down. And it used to be competitive. I remember Jordan's last All-Star game when he hit that fadeaway over Kevin Garnett at the end. I remember when Kobe went off.
Over Sean Marion.
Sean Marion? I can't remember. Was it Sean Marion?
Yeah.
Are you sure? I don't think so.
Yeah.
We'll have to go back and look at the footage.
Oh,
Regardless.
I remember.
Regardless, Jordan hitting that fadeaway. You got guys like Allen Iverson going off trying to win MVP, Kobe winning MVP, Dwayne Wade. Like it meant something. The guys worked hard. Now, like you said, it's the most disappointing All-Star weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Hockey, totally. I think hockey goes under the radar because it's not as popular as basketball, at least on the media-wise side as well. But hockey's All-Star weekend is fun. They get the fans involved. They get kids involved. The players are engaged. Baseball, the home run derby is always pretty cool. Even though the All-Star game itself might be boring, but there's the events that make it cool. And we don't count football, of course, because
just a total joke.
That's a joke. But basketball used to be the pinnacle. Dunk comp used to be so interesting.
Uh-huh.
You know, like you had Vince Carter, then you had the Joe Green, Dwight Howard thing, and you had Robinson coming in there later, and then Aaron Gordon getting robbed multiple years. Like, it used to be interesting.
Yeah.
So they got to find a way to make it interesting. They got to find a way to find why the buy-in should be for the players, and obviously from the players' side, if they're getting hurt, they don't want to do anything. But I don't know, it does seem gimmicky. I feel the one downside is having Chuck Kenny and Shaq and Candace Parker do the drafting. It doesn't reward the coaches who've done really well.
True.
You know, like I feel like you gotta give the coaches a shout out as well, right? Because yeah, the players are all stars, but coaching is important as well in the NBA. So I don't know. We'll see how it works. I think up to 40 keeps the games quick, but that could also work against them because the players could be like, I don't care. Let me go party.
One
We'll
way
see.
to solve All-Star Weekend.
Sure.
They got to do it. They either have to bring in a one-on-one competition,
Ooh.
and
Yeah.
or I think you take all the defensive player of the year candidates that are usually shot blockers versus dunkers. Have a competition. How great
I
would that be? I'm tuning
I
in.
like I like the one-on-one thing because there's a lot of pride and ego. My only thing about the shot block versus the dunker piece is that as a dunker, you're gonna get a lot of running time to get up there. That's a lot of advantage you have. And the art of shot blocking has disappeared from the NBA, in my opinion. You don't see those guys like Dikembe Mutombo. You don't see those guys who can block their man. It's a lot of weak side help. You know, you get the LeBron rundowns on that. So
I'm just
I
saying.
like it. I'm just
Rudy
saying.
Gobert, Wembenyama,
See,
Zach
that's what I'm saying. Like Rudy
Edey.
Gobert, he's not a guy who's gonna block his own guy. He just changes
Yeah,
shots.
yeah, he's so big.
Come on. He's big, but like he's soft.
It's
Okay?
true.
He's soft. Even Wembanyama, he's my guy. Spurs are my team. But like they would just like, can you imagine LeBron just going up and rounding Victor? Because Victor's so tiny. What's he gonna
I
do?
don't think he could do it. I don't think he could do it.
Maybe
Because
not
Victor could
LeBron,
just
because
you just stand there on the side and just take it out, man.
I don't know. There's a lot of force down there.
And I
Coming
think
from
they should
guys who've
make
never
it
dunked
only
before.
so the All Stars that make the All Star game should be the only ones
Yeah.
participating in all the events. Don't bring in
Yeah,
any other
I agree with
guys,
that.
right?
I
And then
agree
you
with
make the
that.
whole make it the whole competition throughout the weekend from East and
Yep.
West.
I like that. I like that better.
Fun.
Because then you have to, so you accrue points
Mm-hmm.
in the other stuff. Like you make it worth something.
Yep.
Make it worth something. So
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll
Exactly.
see. NBA viewership's down almost 50% since the last 10 years anyway. So there's a real problem in the NBA. Go woke, go broke, as we've heard them say. But maybe this changes things around.
But is it really down with all the TV deals, or is it just like people are
The numbers are actually saying viewership is down. This is a real
okay?
problem.
Wow.
So yeah, it's a lot. So we'll see. Okay. As we talk about business, let's go to our next little bit of business here as we wrap up our first sports section talk. Train to invest. Don't worry about English. We teach you how to trade in the stock market. If you're looking for a different way to earn income, if you're looking to understand what your financial planner is doing, if you're looking to find a company that wants to teach you how to trade in the stock market, look no further than Train to Invest. We have a free ebook on our website, www.train2invest.com. It tells you our story. It tells you about what we try to do with our clients, and that's cut the middleman. In a lot of things, you see that the middleman is the one making all the money, while end-to-end users are not. So what we teach is a methodology that you can easily learn and understand and how to trade in the stock market. And our goal is to make sure that once you've done our course, you're ready to go. And also then to teach your kids and their kids and their kids to make it a generational thing, because it's a skill set. It's not a magic box system. It's not waiting for picks from somebody. It's about building your skill set and finding a way to reach your financial dreams, whether that's buying a new car, buying a cottage to retire to, or even starting your retirement planning. So check us out at www.train2invest.com. Download the free ebook, give it a read, and contact us. And we'll be happy to see if what we do is a fit for you. So yeah, if you're looking for even just understand what inflation is all about, because stuff's going up in price and your money's going down. How do we fix that? Check us out, let us know, and we'd love to partner with you. So business is done. I know a lot of fun stuff on the markets happening at the end of the year. A lot of fun stuff in the sports happening. But we got to flip the script here a little bit. We're very passionate guys when it comes to sports. I think what we've titled this, what is your passion? Game day or judgment day? Very, very catching. And I think it's something that is important, especially in today's society and time and what's going on. I would love for you to share that story you talked about when we talked about it on Sunday as we drove into church as you were at the conference, the district conference meeting.
Yeah, so Pentecostal Assemblies, Eastern Ontario District. Shout out to our fearless, we call them Bishop to start the meeting, Reverend Pastor Jason Luscombe. He had this great analogy where he was sharing about how he was more devastated. You know, watching the Raptors prior to the NBA championship in 2019, the Raptors constantly lost to LeBron. As most of us know, LeBronto, all that stuff hurts over and over and over again. It was the year that LeBron hit this runner, the fading off to the left side of his body over OG Anunoby. And that was kind of the year we thought, you know, the Raptors, they have a shot. They're actually competing better. They're taking the next steps. We all got kind of fooled into it, and LeBron crowns the Raptors once more. And Pastor Jason was talking about how he was devastated for about a week. And I felt that. I felt that in my soul as he was sharing that with a whole bunch of pastors there. And he was saying, then he felt the conviction saying, you know, I've been devastated about this game, about this basketball team in Toronto that's let us down over and over and over again. But how devastated have I been? How hurt have I been for those that don't know the Lord? He kind of transitioned that into something, kind of a whole system of our approach as leaders. One of the points that really stuck out to me is this push for praying together as the church. That's one of the points he was passionate about, praying together as the church, moving forward together and praying with a purpose. And you know, in football, we talk about throwing up the Hail Mary pass. That's the last ditch effort. Are your prayers more like the Hail Mary pass, which is the lowest percentage play in football? Or are your prayers with the authority from heaven? Are your prayers, you know, with the power of God, with kingdom power behind them, with faith? And that's what he was kind of challenging us on. So that was what kind of inspired, hopefully it's inspired by God, but through Pastor Jason. What are your thoughts on that? Game day, judgment day.
You know, when we talked about it in the car, my initial thoughts were, you know, how valid is that point? We are so ready to be invested in, you know, a bunch of people playing a game for entertainment. We're so invested in how that brings us an emotional high or low. And in reality, it doesn't matter. Raptors winning in 2019 was amazing. And it hasn't changed my life. You know, it hasn't fundamentally altered the way I think. It hasn't fundamentally altered the way I look at things, aside from, you know, hoping each year the Raptors do it again. It may have impacted my purchasing decisions on a few things, but in reality, it has not had the impact that God has had in my life. You know, I'm not an employee of Bison Transport. I'm not a kid or someone who's grown up born in Malaysia, an immigrant. My identity isn't part of what I do on a day-to-day basis. That's not my purpose. My purpose isn't to make money every 2 weeks and then pay bills, save some, spend some, and go on with my life. My purpose is to live like Christ. And you know, when you shared that story, it was kind of like, yeah, we get so amped up for sports, but in the bigger picture, you know, I should be more concerned. I should be more sad. I should be more afraid for my friends who don't know Christ, because I know what the end game is. I know what judgment day is. You know, it breaks my heart that I know there are people that I love and care about who aren't going to go that way. But what am I doing about it? Right? What am I doing about it? Why am I not why am I not pushing more for that? And when we came up with the game day or judgment day, what I think is, game day is here now. We can physically see it. We can buy tickets to a game. We can watch something on TV. There's a set time and place where this event is going to happen. No one knows when Judgment Day is. We've talked about living in the end times. That's been around for my entire life, and it's hard. It's hard to conceptualize. Hey, on this day, on this time, Jesus is coming again, because we don't know. We always think we have more time. We always think we have more opportunity. But as we're talking about this, what's really clicking in my head is you don't know. You don't know. People you love could pass away tomorrow. And then what? Coulda, shoulda, woulda. So my passion, while I love basketball, my passion should be, how do I express the love of Christ daily in what I do, in what I say, what I listen to, how I comport myself, so that I can at least start the conversation of who is Jesus? What is Christianity? Because at the end of the day, yes, we're going to go to heaven and we're going to worship Christ and it's going to be amazing, and I want everybody to experience that and not miss out.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. In my life, there was, when I graduated high school, one of the most sought after players in my year, he was having major mental health crises. No, I would have never known that. I played basketball against him. We battled against each other. He was going full rides to wherever he wanted to go. He was depressed and he ended up jumping in front of a train. I had another friend who was full ride to University of Manitoba on his way to be a doctor, and drunk driving, ran into a side of a building. It's gone, right? You don't know when Judgment Day is coming. You don't know when your time on earth is done. That's why there's been, at least in my heart, and I think it's kind of Holy Spirit kind of prompted that, we have to be a little bit more passionate about sharing the truth, sharing that there is a hope out there that's greater than anything this world has to offer. Like when the 2019, when the Raptors won, I was happy. It gave me joy. It gave me pride for Canada and the city, but it also felt a little empty. I was like, this is everything I really got from this. This is it for me. There's so much more to life. There's so much more to life. That's why I think sports and the NBA, the NFL, MLB, NHL, they can all be tools for us to bridge people to the kingdom. They can be tools for us to grow together, but it's not the be all end all. Right? I know there's lots of sports fans out there. We use sports to distract ourselves from the garbage of the world, politics and all that stuff that people just don't understand. But over all of it, there's something so far greater. It's relationship with Christ. That's what saved our lives. So close. I know my life, probably your life as well, where it could have gone another direction. I could have been in that car with one of my friends, right? But I had another path. God gave me grace. I'm a product of grace. You can see it on my hat.
Yeah. And you share those stories about losing people, and you don't expect it, right? And I think that's the biggest thing. Like, I know in our house, Christmas Day is we open gifts. Like, back in the day, open gifts. Mom makes an amazing breakfast. We eat, and then we turn on basketball. And people snooze in and out, go in and out, but the basketball's on. And it's not that anything special, amazing about basketball, but it's something that brings our whole family together. When Samara was in Winnipeg, she would tolerate our basketball for a little bit before disappearing. But it was just something we all did as a family. It was just, hey, the basketball's on. We sit, we chat. You talk about different things. You watch the game, and that's the whole point of what we're trying to do, is using sports as a tool. Because for many people who don't believe in Christ or don't have a faith based idea, it's how do I connect with somebody, right? You're not gonna logic somebody into the kingdom. You have to show them through your actions, and some of that actions has to be spending time with people who are not believers, right? Going to a sports game, going to a restaurant, going to a bar to watch a sports bar to watch a game isn't a sin, right? You can go eat some good food, enjoy their company and enjoy what's going on and connect with them. And that's where you start building their relationship. And to say no to an opportunity because you're tired or because you've had a long week, that's all earthly reasons not to go. But it's also an opportunity for the devil to say, okay, I don't want this person to build a relationship with so and so.
Exactly.
I want to keep. Yeah,
Christian life is like defense in basketball. There's no off days. There's no off games.
Yeah.
Right. And I think we get into this idea that, oh yeah, even when I'm on vacation or for this and that, I can just, do this and live this way and act this way. But no, that's not how it's supposed to be. This Christian life is your every day, your every moment. It's actually, and when the more you grow in it, the more joy you get from it, the more joy you get to live that way. And the more opportunities you get to see and share and live and be that example of the Bible to others. Sorry, I cut you off there.
No, that's okay. No, that's great. And it's and that's really important is I'll tell you this story. I was working at a daycare at Lytton Christian School, the before after school care program. And I was walking down the hallway with a bunch of kids as we're going back to the small gym. And I overheard this parent saying, I only have Christian friends for my kids. And in my head, I'm thinking, as I walk by, I'm like, that's terrible. That's terrible, because how are you teaching your kids to share about Christ?
They're
How are you
bragging about
teaching
it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How are you getting your child prepared for the realities of this world? I'm sorry, but not everybody's going to go to Bible school. Not everybody is going to go to work at a Christian foundation. You have to understand how to be and survive within your society that you're living in. You don't have to be part of it. I'm not asking you to go get high or go get drunk or do that kind of stuff. But you have to understand, hey, if I'm in college, my friends are getting drunk, I can still hang out with them outside of that. I can still build relationship with them outside of that. I can still hop on the Xbox or PlayStation or whatever and play a few rounds of Call of Duty and get smoked, and that's fine. But I'm taking that time to be intentional and build that relationship. When you're out at work, okay, maybe you don't smoke, so you don't go out for the smoke breaks. But like after work events, go enjoy some free food, drink your whatever you want to drink, whether it's a Diet Cola or maybe it's a fruity little mocktail. Doesn't really matter. No one's going to judge. What they will see is that somebody who is a different value system coming to hang out with them, making an effort. And as we've talked about on this pod over the last little bit, is it creates opportunity. And that's where it starts, is asking God for opportunity. And and again, it's funny, we've said this a few times. You ask for the opportunity, you're going to get the opportunity, and then you have to seize the opportunity. Whether it's a simple thing like going out for drinks or going out to see some kids silly Timbit soccer or whatever it is. Spending that time being invested in that is huge. And I have a friend at work. He's a little bit older than I am, but his dad is not doing well, and it's pretty much end game for end of life for this dad. And he's an only child, and there's a lot of burdens on his shoulders. And I just texted and said, "Hey, I hope it's going okay. I'm going to pray for you." And he totally appreciated that. Whether he believes or not, he appreciates that I'm reaching out in his time of need, and I'm saying, "Hey, I'm going to do this for you because I care about you, not because it's the quote unquote right thing to do. It's because I'm genuinely care about you." And I prayed for him for other things as well in his life, right? So it's not just coming out of nowhere, but it's looking for opportunity. It's taking that step of faith, and it's like I don't think we take that into account. And I think you used a really great analogy there, that Christian life is like playing defense. You can't slack because Satan's not slacking, right? He's working overtime because he knows the end game. He knows what happens on Judgment Day, and he's trying to bring as many people as he can with him. Why shouldn't we?
I love it. That's good. And we share the truth. We point people to Jesus and we walk with them in love. That's what it's about. That's the strategy we've seen from Jesus, the disciples. That's what we're going to practice as well. And you can practice it too. And maybe you're interested in this whole thing that we're talking about. Maybe you're interested in checking out church. We'd love to chat with you, point you in the right direction. You can connect by seeing our church online as well. And, we can answer any question you have.
And one last thing before you wrap up here is, is God doesn't expect us to be perfect. He just wants you to do your best.
Definitely
And
not perfect.
yeah, and again, you don't have to be the person. You don't have to be a Billy Graham, and you bring thousands of people to Christ, right? Your job may just be to plant the seed, or your job may be to water the seed. You have no idea what impact you're going to have just by being obedient. So trust in Jesus, trust in God, and just take that leap of faith. I think that's it. I think that's the easiest thing for us to do is just take that leap of faith.
Love it.
So if you're looking for a church, or if you're looking to find out more about what we're talking about with this Jesus guy and faith, subscribe to the videos, reach out to us on Twitter or X, or for all you old heads on Facebook. We love to interact with you guys. We love to answer your questions. And we love to point you in the right direction. I know Daniels has pointed different people in different parts of the country to different churches in their neighborhoods and in their areas. So there's a wealth of knowledge there. And if he doesn't know, he knows somebody who else is going to know. So there's nothing that the network can't figure out for you. So make sure you share this. Make sure, not just because we want to grow the Sports Revs sub count, but because we want to grow God's outreach through YouTube and through Spotify, through Apple Podcasts, all that kind of stuff. We want the word of God to spread out. So as we head towards the Christmas season, Christmas, not holiday, let's remember that God loves you and he wants others to know about him. So drive that passion, not for game day, but for Judgment Day.
Amen.
That's all I got.
That's right. Peace out, world.
Peace.
Thing.